Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to our This Calls for Confetti giveaway hot from Kendra's card challenges. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's super sponsor is This Calls for Confetti, and I'll be working with sketch number 3 from the Kendra's Card Challenge 13, our last month of this challenge. So I have here from This Calls from Confetti, Easter egg dies and stencils. There are 2 of them. And then I've got this pad of very springtime papers, and I've got these awesome rub-ons, and there are gold and white ones in here, and they're all like advertisements. A lot of fun. You're gonna love them. So what I'm making today is I'm making a sugar egg card. Now, I don't know if some of you remember sugar eggs. I'm sure they still sell them, but I loved them when I was a kid. Not to eat, but just to look at, because it was such a marvel that that egg was formed out of sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glitter paper, because it looks to me closest like sugar. And I won't be using the stencils today, but you can guarantee I will use them another day. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out the large egg out of the glitter paper. And I bet you didn't know this, but you can ink blend on glitter paper. And I'm going to be showing you that in a moment here. I just don't want to waste my ink, so I'm going to cut my egg out first. And so today's hop is sponsored by This Calls for Confetti. They are one of our super sponsors. And they have, if you didn't know, they have papers, they have dies, they have stencils, they have obviously all their fun confetti and clay bits and other embellishments, along with a ton of other things. So I hope that you will go and visit our sponsor and give them a lot of love. Today's video, there is a giveaway, and so there's a form down below that you need to fill out and submit to be entered to win on each of the hop videos. And then the hop playlist is listed down below. If you just click on the playlist, it'll take you to everybody. So I've got everything cut out here, and I had to kind of cut through a lot of this because it takes a little longer than it looks. What I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to use my outer egg as kind of a template to glue in my inner egg. Make sure it's in there nice and straight, because this is going to be a shaker card. And then I'll show you how I do my ink blending. If I can pick this up off of here. I'm going to grab my sticky mat. I'm going to start with my big piece. And this was inspired by something I found on Pinterest. And it was a blue-green ombre sugar egg, and it's just gorgeous. Now, I don't even come close to what that one looked like, but you know, we don't have that much time. It was very detailed inside. And obviously you can do that because it's a sugar egg and there's lots of real estate inside. So I'm coming in with Tropical Tango here down at the bottom. And then I'll top that off with some Turquoise Sea. And I'll just kind of get that towards the center. And then I'll put on the very top, I'll put the Overzealous, so that we've got a sort of a green-blue ombre going there. And then I'm going to do just use what's on my brush and just lightly fill in this center piece. I don't want a lot on it because I'm going to do something cool next. So what you might not also know is that rub-ons will rub on to just about anything. So I'm going to choose this carrot rub-on, and it is designed to be a background piece. It's not front and center. You can do them front and center, absolutely. And I'm sure I will in the future, but for today, it's a background. So I'm just going to lay that on there, and I use the back side of my bone folder to rub that on, but it rubs on like a dream. And I tested it on one of my older rub-ons earlier today to make sure it works before I committed to doing this. But it rubs on very nicely. And I'm just going to grab my tweezers, and I'm going to pull up the backer paper and make sure everything's stuck down, and there we go. So this is, now you're getting an idea of how it's going to look. Now, off camera, I did a lot of die cutting and cutting. And this is going to be this is going to be a dual acetate because some of the dimensional things that I'm putting in the egg are would hang up our confetti, and I don't want that. So I'm going to do 2 layers of acetate. And the first layer, I've got these little grass things that I cut. It's just paper that I put slices in so that I've got a little place for my little bunny to sit, because I've got a little bunny that I stamped and cut out, of course, off camera. And I'll go ahead and trim the outside edge off of that. And that's our start. And then we'll add our little bunny. And I kind of want to tuck him into the grass. And if you get any goobers on your acetate, just wipe them off. So I've got him basically between the grass, and then I'm just putting a little glue on the grass so it sits on there, because we're going to have acetate over it, so it's not going to go anywhere. And then maybe I'll do a flower here too. Just kind of tuck that into the grass, glue the grass down onto it, and we're ready to go with that. Now, all I need to do is add some actual... what am I adding here? I'm adding some foam tape, and this is a very low profile foam tape. So you don't want too high. You don't want it too high or you won't be able to mail it. But I want to have a little space between my rabbit and grass and my next acetate piece. And you can use old packaging, whatever you want. And I'm thinking I might add another flower, and then I change my mind. So I'm just going to pop my acetate back down on there and then trim off that excess. And then all that's really left to do is to add our dimension. And that's going to be, I'm going to be using the world's best foam tape, of course. And I am cutting it down because it's probably fine the width it is, but I'm just cutting it down. So there's that. I don't have any good rhyme or reason. I'm just doing it. I like this tape because if you take the backer off, it bends around very easily. Okay, so I've got that ready to go. Now I'm going to do a little bit of decorating inside the egg, not a bunch because I don't want my confetti all getting caught up in it. I'm just going to put a couple little leaves, and then I've got this all ready to go. So what I want to do is I'm going to place this in the corner of my Misty and then pour in my confetti. And so these are the clay bits, the Easter clay bits. And then I have some, because I've been shopping this called confetti for a while, I have some little confetti I'm putting in, and then I'll just lay my backer on, and there's our shaker component ready to be glued onto the card. But there's more. But wait, there's more. So what you see here is I have cut out another piece of the small egg, and I'm taking these leaves and I'm stamping them all around. And the leaves, believe it or not, I did major surgery on one of my older silicone stamp sets. So it's, it's not close to my heart or anything, but it's something I had, and I looked for things that would kind of be representative of the frosting that you would see around a sugar egg. So I just stamped this with VersaFine Claire, and let's see, I think it's Green Oasis. I can't tell from here, it's upside down. Yeah, Green Oasis. You can do any color you want, or not do it. You can skip it entirely. But I really wanted this to look like an authentic sugar egg, best I could. You could later put glossy accents over this so that it stands out a little bit more. But old-fashioned sugar eggs had frosting around the opening of the hole. Now, typically the hole was round, but I really like the egg shape because then I can, fit my bunny in there better. Off camera, I will fussy cut that, and I'll also do ink blending in the same ombre so that when it's cut out and I lay it down on there, it just basically looks like a shadow. And you just want to make sure that it's nice and dry. Okay, I've got it all cut out, and you can see I've done that ombre, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I'm using art glitter glue today because I'm gluing onto glitter. And sometimes glitter can be a real bear to get things to stick to. but it's sticking just fine. And then I'm going to decorate the top like you do see on a sugar egg. And I've got flowers and leaves here that I pre-cut out from my stash. I'm just kind of laying stuff out here. I'm going to have 3 or 4 flowers at the top and then just do leaves coming down the sides. Typically leaves went all the way down because the sugar eggs were, molded, and they had to have a seam in them. Well, we don't have a seam to worry about, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to glue on my leaves first, and then I'll glue the flowers on top. I'm just sort of arranging them kind of like how you might decorate a cake. All right, I've got that all done off camera, and I've got it set aside. We're going to go ahead and make our card base portion. And here's where I have modified the design of the sketch, of sketch 3, because it actually calls for a square in the middle, and it's a landscape card. Well, I'm making mine not landscape, I'm making it portrait so that my egg fits. And I'm using this paper from this calls for a confetti paper pad. Which one was that? I put it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Right here. It's Painted Patterns is what it's called. So I'm just gluing the pattern paper layer down to the matte layer, which is that same green as the cardstock. And I'll glue that right down to the card. So a little bit different stray from the original sketch, but we're okay with that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then we'll be done with our card. Now I'm going to add just like a couple little paper shims, and I'm lazy bones. I'll just rip the paper. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it, so just want to make sure that everything's going to fit properly and nothing sticks out. And then I'll glue everything down, and that way I don't have any kind of uneven spots where my shaker is. And that's it, you guys. I really do want to thank you for joining me on this video and joining us all in the Hop for Kendra's Card Challenge. I do hope that you'll hop along. Again, the link is listed down below, and here's some still pictures. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.